welcome to Connected, coming from our Toowoomba studio. Thanks for being with us, and on the show we have Metro Events, the Grid Hybrid Arts Collective. We'll also be looking at the Carnival of Flowers. First, let's check out what's happening in town.
80s music superstar Cyndi Lauper will be performing for one night only at Jupiter's Hotel and Casino on Tuesday evening. Cyndi's had a string of chart-topping hits including Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Time After Time and True Colours. Her current tour marks the 30th anniversary since the release of her debut album, She's So Unusual. The Big Sound Festival is recognised as Australia's leading international music industry gathering. Over 3 days from the 11th to the 13th, a contingent of musicians, managers, buyers, industry experts and music lovers to meet, learn and discover new music in Brisbane's renowned entertainment precinct, Fortitude Valley. Car enthusiasts and beginners alike are invited to come along and enjoy one of the biggest single-day swap meets in Australia, featuring veteran, vintage and classic displays of cars, bikes, boats and machinery. The Beaudesert Swap Meet is on this Sunday at the Beaudesert Showgrounds. The Celebrate Redcliffe Festival will be held this weekend with plenty of events and activities for the whole family. There'll be celebrations right along Redcliffe Parade, including a reenactment of Queensland's first European landing on the foreshore. And get ready for the Cycle Epic Weekend this weekend, which is sure to have something for everyone. The award-winning challenge is a great mountain biking tradition that began in 2002 with a bunch of mates and has gone through multiple evolutions over the past couple of years. Be sure to check out their website for more details and information about how to get involved. Don't forget to stay connected through our website and Facebook page for more events.
Well, my first guest is the owner of Bonamici Wine Bar and Cafe, a venue that provides up-and-coming singers with a chance to perform their music. And he is Wayne Luchterhand. How are you, Wayne?
Good, thanks, Ashley.
Now, what a wonderful idea, certainly, because I guess it's always hard for emerging artists, and particularly performing artists, to get a chance to get a break. Why do you do it?
Well, it's a little niche market for ourselves. It's great to see young and old coming out and expressing themselves, and our cafe is the venue for it.
Now, being Bonamici, it sounds like it should have some wonderful music and life about it. Yeah,
Bonamici means good friend, and everyone that walks in there, that's how we treat them.
Okay. So as a cafe and wine bar, what's the trading hours?
We open from 7 a.m. every morning, late most nights of the week.
So as far as then the performers, are you running them across the day and into the evening, or how does that work?
Mainly Tuesdays, we have an open mic night, and they all roll up from about 7 o'clock on, and we go through till midnight, and each artist or artists will play 4 or 3 songs, and someone else new will come up. So most of it's originals, and some people do some covers, but it's the original stuff that they've written and performing.
And from your perspective, are you amazed at how many artists are out there in the community?
Oh, I never knew this existed before we bought the cafe, and it's certainly a lovely feel, and everyone that turns up certainly appreciates what they hear and see.
Do you have a fairly regular following of people wanting to hear who's out there performing now?
Yeah. Every Tuesday night the place is full, and if you asked too many places on a Tuesday night if your venue was full, they'd laugh at you, but our place is, and it's booming with great talent.
That's fantastic. So in terms of anyone that's watching who may be an emerging artist that would like to get a gig from the Toowoomba region, how do they get in contact with you?
Phone call to Bonamici's first. I have somebody run our open mic night. We would introduce you to this gentleman, and he will put you on, and away you go. And what else is we have other nights that we do music. So if they're really, really good and we want to put them on again, well, they might get a gig on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Okay, fantastic. So live music is a real feature of your venue.
Yeah, it's just our little niche that we've got to be different to everyone else, and that's what we do.
Fantastic. And just quickly, musical background yourself?
No, I don't. I love singing behind the bar, but and in the bathroom. But
is that where they leave you while you're not allowed out in the mic night?
They all want me up on stage, but I just don't get up there. I'm sorry.
So you'll stay at what you do best, hey?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Look, thanks very much for doing what you're doing for our emerging artists, and great to meet you.
Thanks, Ashley.
don't forget you can get along to see Wayne and all the troops there at Bonamici on a Tuesday night and of course Friday and Saturday. Coming up, we take a look at the Grid Metro events and some entertainment. Meet one of the people behind the Carnival of Flowers. Stay with us here on Connected. Welcome back. Scott Alderdice is a theatre lecturer at USQ. He plays a huge role in organising performances at the university, including Shakespeare in the Park, and he joins me in the studio now. Scott, welcome to the program.
Hi Ashley, thank you.
Beside that background, of course you bring your own wonderful history in terms of your own skills in theatre, which obviously, having been involved in theatre yourself, you can bring that to the classroom, as it were. How important is that to have actually been a practitioner?
Oh, I think it's essential in terms of training people for the industry. I think it's essential. And I also think, I was fortunate enough at a very early age to work at a national level. And so what that does is gives you a perspective of how the industry operates at that level and the decision making and the priorities and the imperatives that influence people's individual careers at that level. So what then it's incumbent on me to do when I work as a teacher or training people for entry into that industry is to maintain skills and standards of skills for young people who aspire to the industry at a professional standard, but also to keep a real eye on where the industry is going and where the opportunities are, because let's face it, it's a really competitive industry. And I think we'd be failing if we were just putting people out who were going to enter into a market that has a employability factor of about 97% unemployment at any one time, for example, for actors. So one of the things that I really focus on is how people can be autonomous artists, developing their own work and developing their own industry, and at a sustainable level in the industry. And what that means is we're producing artists who can change the industry from within, as well as producing artists who can find employment at all levels in the industry.
And probably just to unpack the industry itself, and we're talking about here on stage.
We're talking about really the broad entertainment industry. I mean, we're not just talking about live performance. We're talking about performance that, of course, these days is technology distributed and technology produced. So it's not just free-to-air broadcast. It's not just radio. It's not just DVD or hard copy or anything like that. I think the explosion that's out there is the opportunity that's available for online. Whether or not that be sort of the traditional entertainment sort of areas, or whether or not it's this hugely burgeoning and evolving sort of area which is driven by social media and the aesthetics connected to social media. And I think that's where, as trainers, we need to be putting a fair amount of our focus, while not throwing out the traditional standards of skills acquisition and development, but we've got to be looking towards what the industry is heading towards in the future and preparing people for that.
And obviously that makes quite a difference when you're a student coming to a university like this, where you are keeping on the cutting edge.
Absolutely, and it means that if I look back to what I was teaching 5 years ago, there's a large proportion of what I'm teaching now, particularly with the senior students, which is completely different. And to a large degree, an increasing degree, the students are driving that. The students are actually saying where they want to go in terms of their career pathways and their career opportunities. And so it's incumbent on me to provide them with that learning opportunity. So it's changing all the time.
Well, great to catch up with you, Scott. Thanks for sharing a bit of insight around the theatre world and what you're doing here at USQ.
Thanks, Ashley. Pleasure.
Scott Alderdice joining us here in the studio. Well, the Grid Hybrid Art Collective and Metro events are huge parts of the art culture in Toowoomba, as our team found out.
The Grid is like, we say it's like the engine room for grassroots creative expression, so across every discipline that we can find locally. Myself and Kirsty Lee are the co-directors of the space, and so I run a gallery here called Mars. Kirsty runs a dance business called The Grid, Dance and Entertainment. We also have Damien Camholtz's Play on Play, which is creative children's workshops. We have Circus School, Lorraine Ashton's Circus, a drama school, D for Drama. We have an urban art store called Contraband, coffee shop called Bounce, and artist studios. This shows a good example of the Grid's effect on the artistic community. The show you can see, it's called All In, and we just asked people to bring in whatever they have, and we would hang everything that arrived. So we ended up with over 120 works by 40 artists, all local, And we've got works by 7-year-old Byron Tupaz, who's like exhibited 3 times, and he sells out every time he exhibits. His stuff is amazing. There's a lot of room for more. Like, I think now's a good time to be looking out of town to bring in inspiration and like people and see, you know, sort of offer an insight into where people could take their practice. Like from Contraband's point of view, for example, the Urban Art Store, they are painting laneways. Like in the last month, they've done 3 laneways. So the town's just like, you know, responding in every way to it all, which is good.
We are Metro Cafe and Events, and the events part of that phrase or logo, I guess, or brand's more specific, is the fact that we have an event space. So that goes into your 21st, your engagement parties and things like that we have a vacant space. The self-events part of that is through our self-promotion. So the way that we get around that, or the way that we publicise that, is we give any of our self-events a new brand. When Art was here, it was called the Mars Initiative. So with our co-branding in the circumstance at the moment, because it's held here, every piece of advertisement, every piece of publication or whatnot, we co-brand with the on-air brand, with the Metro Cafe and Events brand, from the Mars brand to the Metro Cafe and Events brand. And another regular event that we have here is comedy nights as well, which might be our step into the theatrical way. Same deal, Metropolis Comedy, Metro Cafe and Events. We very quickly realised that the cafe or cafes are a cultural place for people, that it's not just food and drink that they come in for a relationship, they come in for connection, they come in to be updated, look forward to something. So then we brainstormed about how to start this and how to fuel that, and what we could start opening that was low risk, great for the community, great for people, and great for public events. It's our first live band night that we had here, the Mouldy Lovers, reputable Brisbane band, doing really well for themselves. With excited eyes, we're like, how often do you do this? And where they're going, it's our first time. They couldn't tell. So to have that acknowledged back to us, we feel that we've got our formula right, that instead of us trying to do it on our own accord, network with someone who's passionate, someone who it's their specific interest and their general interest, bargain out some kind of arrangement so that both parties are going to be looked after, and then you've got a wonderful, wonderful event each time.
After the break, we'll have some live entertainment, and we'll catch up with Ross Bejan from the Carnival of Flowers. Stay connected. Welcome back. My next guest is the Head of Tourism and Events in Toowoomba, and he's here to talk about the very popular Carnival of Flowers. It is Ross Bejan. How are you, Ross?
Ashley, I'm well, thank you, and looking forward to the Carnival in about 2 weeks' time.
Yes, coming up very soon, and of course as we get into springtime, it is a beautiful time to be up here in Toowoomba City and to enjoy the Carnival of Flowers. You had a pretty tough patch there back in the drought, but you still managed to hold an event.
We've had almost every event that you can think of. We've had the floods, the drought, we've had the windstorms and the rain. This year's going to be great, I'm sure.
Absolutely, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
So what is in store for the general public to be able to come along and enjoy Toowoomba City at probably one of its finest times in the year?
Actually, this is the 64th Carnival of Flowers. So most of these events around Australia, particularly with grand parades down the main street, have gone long ago, but this one continues to grow. In fact, this year in 2013, we have the Grand Central Floral Parade at capacity. We've run out of floats.
Okay.
There are no more floats to allocate, so that's great to look forward to.
Yeah, so is there a particular theme you're running with this year?
The theme is story, and it's the story about the carnival, and that theme will be right through every event, so I'll leave that for a surprise for everybody that gets there.
Yeah, for sure. So, of course, going around to the homes and the beautiful gardens in the city is a real plus. Do you have the day trips and other tours planned for people?
We do have garden tours, and interestingly enough, gardens still rate very highly in terms of the most frequently visited attractions. The gardens in parks and the gardens in private homes. We not only have the tours of the gardens, but we have a number of additional tours coming up this year. We're trying to fill the gap between the midweek where the accommodation is not so heavily booked. And we're running a number of additional tours, including savouring our regional flavours and getting out to some of our country pubs and some of the local restaurants as well.
That's wonderful, and of course it involves other people who might do it a little bit tough, and it's a good way to really help boost the economy.
Very much so.
And
yes.
speaking of that though, what does the Carnival of Flowers mean for you as a city economically?
Actually, I think it's twofold. First of all, it's a great gift from the council to the residents of Toowoomba. But in addition to that, it attracts about 75,000 people from outside the region each year. So they come, they spend their money, and our economy grows through that. It brings about $35 million into the community. So our aim in growing the carnival is to increase visitor spend, and everything that we do to increase it is about visitor spend. Come, stay longer, eat more at our restaurants, enjoy our wine and our regional flavours.
Absolutely. Do you find that a lot of people who residents here end up doing some homestay? Is that a popular way of being able to accommodate here?
Our largest number of visitors are visiting friends and relatives, particularly associated with families. So yes, that's still a big draw card in regional Queensland. Yes.
At the right time of year to get up here.
That's correct. Yeah.
But do you also find then that there's a nice flow-on effect that once people discover Toowoomba and the region, that they will come back again?
Very much so. In fact, about 80% of people who were surveyed last year said that they would come back again this year. We're also finding that there are a lot of people that come to Toowoomba just before the carnival and just after the carnival because they want to enjoy the parks and gardens and the attractions without the activities and the events going on.
Well, I know there's a lineup and a massive amount of things that are all going on. What's the best way for people to find out what's happening?
On the website, tcof.com.au, there are around 18 events that make up the annual carnival, and of course there are about 60 community events as well that are run simultaneously and linked to the carnival theme.
We wish you every success. It's going to be another wonderful big event coming up in just a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you, Ashley. We're really looking forward to it.
Well, my last guest is local singer-songwriter Dana Hassel, and she's here at the set with me. How are you, Dana?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Looking forward to your performance. But before we let you do that, just want to find out a little bit about what you're up to. Where are you currently performing?
At the moment, I'm performing about monthly at Centenary Tavern in Brisbane, and besides that, a few local gigs every now and then at food and wine festivals and the like.
Keep you busy around the Toowoomba area as well.
Yeah.
So why did you want to go down this pathway?
Ever since I was a kid, I've loved music, and I've been singing since I was about 8 or so, and now I just don't like anything as much as I like music, so I want to keep going.
So I guess you have to do a fair bit of cover work, but doing originals as well?
Yeah, most of it's covers work at the moment, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future I can do a lot more original stuff as well.
So is there someone that you would say is a real inspiration for your musical talent?
I draw inspiration from lots of genres. I think my favourite artist at the moment is John Mayer, but I've grown up listening to country music and pop music and everything, so there's a bit of a mix of everything in my music, I think.
Yeah, and I guess that eclectic kind of mix is then very appealing, isn't it, to a wider audience?
Yeah, exactly. I've found at a lot of my gigs, even people who don't like country, which is what I list myself as, will still like my music because it's got influences from everywhere.
Sure. So where do we find your music?
My music is on my website and it's on iTunes as well.
Okay, so that's danahassel.com?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so people can find out more about what you're up to. So do you list your gigs where people can see you performing?
Yes, there's a shows tab with all of my upcoming gigs on there.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we certainly wish you all the very best, and when, of course, we have you ready to perform, we're going to get you to head over to the performance area, get set up, so we're looking forward to hearing what you're going to bring for us. You can catch up, of course, more detail from danahassel.com with all the information for her performances, as we said, and of course music available on iTunes. Well, with a fabulous original song of hers, here she is with Come to Sydney.
Car needs washing on a Sunday. Traffic's blocking up the freeway. I wish you headed my way. Oh, come to Sydney. Sun is shining on the harbour. Seems the world is moving faster. Without you, each day gets harder. Oh, come to Sydney. Come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you. 2 is enough to do anything we want to do. The dreams are easy if you'll just get up and move to Sydney. Oh, come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you. Wedged out soaring over Bondi, and his circles catching my eye. If I had the wings, I would fly down to Sydney. Come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you. 2 is enough to do anything we want to do. The dreams are easy if you just get up and move to Sydney. Oh, come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you. Come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you. 2 is enough to do anything we want to do. Dreams are easy if you'll just get up and move to Sydney. Oh, come to Sydney, I'm waiting for you in Sydney. Oh, how dreams they are in Sydney. Yeah, yeah, oh, oh.
Thank you very much, Donna, and Donna with her original song, Come to Sydney. Well, it brings us to the end of another show. My thanks to Wayne Luchterhand, Scott Allardyce, the Grid and Metro events, also the Head of Tourism and Events, Ross Vigent, Dr. Kyle Jenkins, and also, of course, Donna Hussle. And stay connected with us at connectedtv.com.au. Until next time, stay connected.